Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 2 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the potentially overpowered FAL OSW, and I gotta tell you, of all the in-depths I've ever done, this is my favorite kill ever. While I was recording, my ear started itching, so I just put the controller down and started scratching my ear, and I'm like, oh please, nobody come. I hope nobody comes around that corner. Oh my god, this guy pulled the trigger and he just walked right in front of all my bullets. I don't know, it cracked me up to kill a guy while I was scratching my ear. Anyway, today's in-depth is going to be a little bit different than usual. I have hired on a fact checker. J-Hub is now going to be checking my facts because I've been messing them up a bit as of late, and I've decided to change the format a little bit to kind of help you guys get a better feel for the damage and range and headshots, because there's been a little bit of confusion as to how that all works. We're still going to be starting off with damage today, same as always. The FAL is a very high damage assault rifle. It deals 55 damage per shot in close quarters combat, but can drop off to 40 damage per shot at a distance. What this means for you guys is that it will take between 2 and 3 shots to kill. And I know previously I said the SMR was the highest damage assault rifle. That's true and untrue in a way. The SMR only does 50 damage, so technically the FAL can do more damage per shot, but the SMR had a crazier kind of range, so it did more damage over range, and it felt more appropriate to describe it that way. The FAL doesn't drop straight down from 55 to 40 damage like right off a cliff. It does have an intermediate damage of 49. You'll find that it does this 49 damage between 17 and 58 meters. That means from 0 to 16 meters it's going to do 55. For 17 to 58 it'll do 49, and 59 meters plus it's going to drop down to 40. Functionally, that 49 damage isn't very similar because it's still going to be 3 shots to kill, same as the 40. However, if somebody's been nicked once or they've been stunned a time or two, it'll be 2 shots to kill. This is the second longest ranged assault rifle in Black Ops 2, the first longest being the SMR, but it still has an incredible range. That is definitely the strength of the FAL, is that completely ridiculous range, and it has a headshot damage of 1.2x, or 20% bonus damage for shooting somebody in the head. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're dealing with something like 49 damage, it makes a big difference. And I have on here headshots useful at medium range. The best way I could describe this is medium range for the FAL. It's not going to be very helpful in that 55 damage category because it's still 2 shots to kill, and not going to be very helpful out there at the 40 damage at really long ranges because it's still going to be 3 shots to kill. However, at your medium range combat between the 17 and 58 meters, which is the range that you want to be engaging people with the FAL anyway, it's going to turn that 3-shot kill into a 2-shot kill, because one of those headshots is going to be doing over 50 damage, and you'll kill somebody very, very quickly like that. So headshots are useful at medium range for the FAL, though since the FAL has crazy range, you can reasonably say that headshots are useful at long ranges too. While the FAL may have very high damage and excellent range, it's lacking in the rate of fire category. It only shoots at 515 RPM, which is very, very slow for assault rifles, and even this is in semi-automatic mode. Semi-automatic meaning every time you squeeze the trigger it shoots once, or click the mouse it shoots once. If you squeeze the trigger too fast or click the mouse too fast, because the 500 RPM is actually 515 is actually quite low, then you'll oversample and you'll actually shoot it a little bit slower. So my recommendation is that you shoot in relatively controlled burst or a relatively controlled sustained rate of fire. You don't want to just go ham on that trigger because you're actually going to make it shoot slower. As long as you leave it in this normal rate of fire mode, the recoil is going to be very, very low. I would like to say that this is the lowest recoil assault rifle. I personally think the M27 is a bit lower because it's fully automatic, but this is an astoundingly accurate low recoil assault rifle, and you should have no problems hitting anybody at any range. However, that's not the most popular way to use the FAL. Most people like the FAL with the select fire attachment. When you put select fire on it, it actually shoots a little bit lower. It lowers your maximum rate of fire down to 450 RPM. This is not the biggest of difference. It's about, 10, 12, 15% difference depending on where you want to count from, but it does put the gun in fully automatic, so you only have to click the mouse once or pull the trigger once and just hold it down and it'll hose everybody. There was a slight balancing patch on the FAL, so when you're in select fire mode, the recoil is not very low, it's just regular low. It's pretty easy to control. I would say it's much easier to control than the SMR when it's in select fire mode, but it does have somewhat more recoil. However, it's mostly vertical, and most of you should have a very easy time controlling it. That is most of the new presentation for in-depth. I've kind of broken up the range and damage and rate of fire just a little bit differently. There's going to be a little bit different moving on, but I would like your feedback on that. Was that new type of explanation more or less helpful? Go back to the old way, anything like that? And I'm going to be testing the grip again soon because I got some tweets from David Vandahar about what it's actually supposed to do, and I've got a new test to test the grip. And that kind of leads me into the next section here. Somebody helped me out a long time ago. They hooked me up with a music contract that I probably didn't deserve to have, and that was the music that I used in the grip episode when I was running through all the tests, and it was really boring. And this person just now started their own YouTube channel, and they asked me to help them out, and they helped me in the past, so I'm going to help them, and they get a little shout out here. If you'd like to check out Games CTV or Games Compilation TV, you can click the link up there, or you can click the link down in the description. It's the first one. It's something like a fail collection or funny clips collection from mostly first-person shooter games, people that do funny things in games. This guy collects them, does the contracts and what, and packages them into a nice little 2, 3, 4-minute video of all the funny parts. I'd greatly appreciate it if you check that out, because he helped me out in the past, and I'm trying to help him out now. And now that I've done my little shout-out, advertising, plug, spill, whatever, we're going to move into the hipfire. The hipfire on the FAL is statistically normal. It doesn't have a wider or smaller box than any of the other assault rifles, but because it has a low RPM, and because a lot of times you're going to be doing it select fire, the hipfire in practice is actually quite poor. You can barrel stuff people, you can run up to them and maybe spam a little bit and get lucky. At close range it doesn't take a lot of shots to kill, but I'm not a big fan of hipfire with semi-automatic weapons. It just never really floated my boat, and I don't think many of you guys are going to like it either. All things considered, range, damage, rate of fire, hip fire, all that kind of stuff, it has a very fast time to kill because you can 2-shot kill in close range and 3-shot kill just about everywhere else. The time to kill is very fast. You used to see a lot of MLG and pro players using the FAL, usually with select fire, but it has a very fast time to kill, and that's why they used it. The pro players like the fast time to kill guns, and they gravitated toward this one. Do not underestimate the lethality of the FAL. One of the other drawbacks on this weapon is that the iron sights are a tad difficult to use. They are usable, I can use them, I just don't prefer them. Normally I prefer a longer ranged optic, an ACOG, a target finder, something like that on this kind of gun, because the iron sights are just a little bit bulky, a little bit obtrusive. I can use them close range, you do a little bit long range, but medium range it gets a little bit difficult to track the target with all that obstruction on the side of the sights. The aim down sights in and out time is the same as the rest of the assault rifles at 1/4 of a second. This is a little bit slower than SMGs, but a little bit faster than light machine guns. Nothing particularly special about that. The reload time is closer to average. It's going to take a little bit over 2 seconds to go through the full reload animation, but a little bit under 1.5 seconds if you reload cancel. I reload cancel a lot with this weapon, so that's what I would recommend. And you're going to be reloading a lot. The magazine count is exceptionally low at 25. I think this is the second lowest magazine count amongst all the assault rifles, and even when you put extended mags on it, it only goes up to 34. I think that that's a good enough improvement for extended mags. This is a weapon where I typically prefer extended mags over fast mags, but either one are useful on this weapon if you like it that way. But I kind of liked other attachments because I wanted different things for my weapon rather than fast reloading. I think that the FAL is best used at medium ranges in a support role. Don't get me wrong, it has amazing close range potential. It is 2 shots to kill in close range and it kills super fast. I know you guys like it that way, I like it that way, but it's not always easy to do with select fire to pull the trigger, not select fire, no, semi-automatic to pull the trigger fast enough to get those shots off, or with select fire just kind of slowly spamming people, and if you miss a bullet it's a problem. However, in medium ranges this is a deadly weapon. Like the SMR, I like to think of it like you're fencing somebody, like you can just reach out and poke them with maybe a stick or a sword or a long something that they're too far away to poke back with. You get a lot of SMGs in this game, a lot of spray assault rifles. This one you can just constantly pound people at medium range with. When you get outside of medium range, very long range, far away, snipers are going to beat you, light machine guns are going to beat you because they're fully automatic and they can just kind of hose in general, but you can absolutely pound people. I also think it's best in a support role. I don't really like going ham with this weapon. I don't like playing very aggressive with this weapon. It's a good mix for you can play somewhat aggressive and somewhat campy, but you can't do both at the same time, or you can't go all one and not the other. When it comes to recommending classes, I would tell you that the obvious best class for this weapon is use the select fire attachment, put a target finder on it, and you've got easy mode engaged. It's not particularly hard, but it's unpopular. A lot of people would get on my case for that, even though it's objectively the best class. And I'm going to tell you, if you use the select fire attachment, other gamers will question your sexuality. Be prepared for that. It's a very unpopular thing right now, and a lot of people consider it overpowered. So I'm going to try to do the good guy thing here and recommend a class that may not be as objectively good, but is subjectively extremely fun. I built this class so that I could see through walls with the millimeter scanner, and because the FAL has high penetration and high damage, it shoots through walls pretty well. So the attachments I ran were the millimeter scanner. I used that so that I can see through walls, and because it has a lower level of zoom than normal, it lets me do close quarters combat excellently. Ran a quick draw handle because I just hate aiming down sights slow. I can't stand that. And I used the stock attachment so that while I'm aiming down sights with the millimeter scanner, I can still move around pretty quickly and corner people easier with my FAL. As far as my perks go, I personally prefer the flak jacket with this one. I was a grenade magnet the other day, and flak jacket would have been really nice. I always run toughness. I'm a toughness addict, and I'm a dexterity addict because I don't like my screen shaking when people shoot me, and I like recovering very quickly after sprinting. Well guys, that's all for this episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you'd like to check out the previous episode, which was on the M27 assault rifle, you can click the box on the left and it'll open in a new window. The next episode, I have made a quick scoping guide. You can check that out whenever it goes live. I got Phase Cross to help me out too. As always, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.